Our Father in heaven, we thank you from the depths of our spirit that much good might be accomplished in this day, that the strengthening of our families and our nation will come as a result of those who have given of their time, their talents, and of their monies. And again, we pray that on this day, much honor and glory will be received, and our families will receive the increase.
Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it?
Welcome to our show for the family law reform community, where family and children really matter. I'm here with my co-host, Stanley Charles Thorne. Stanley, thank you so much for your continued commitment on this program.
Thank you, Molly. It's good to be back, and it's truly a pleasure to be here with you and our audience.
As an attorney, Stanley knows that something is very broken in family law. Stanley's mission is to return the rule of law and respect for the Constitution back to family courts where it belongs.
Molly, let's pause for a moment to thank our audience for their feedback. We truly appreciate your emails and your phone calls, and we hope you'll keep those coming in.
Your involvement is necessary. We especially want to hear from those willing to be champions of change. We need to hear from those few, those one percenters, we call them, who want to make family law reform a top priority in your life.
It'll take not only the 1%ers, but all of us working together to accelerate the changes in family law that are so desperately needed by America's children.
We have another insightful show ahead. Stanley, I can't wait to get started. Let's begin.
In this episode of our show, we are pleased to present Christina Hoff Sommers. Ms. Sommers is a researcher who writes about issues such as culture and contemporary moral theory. Ms. Sommers is best known for one of her books entitled Who Stole Feminism? How Women Have Betrayed Women. Her articles have been published in the New Republic, the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, the New England Journal of Medicine, and many others. We are delighted and honored to present Christina Hoff Sommers.
What I did in my book, Who Stole Feminism, is that I looked at women and education, women in health, women in the economy, women in the law. And what I found was that not everything, but many of the facts that we took to be truths about women's oppression were not true. They were oversimplifications, or they were only looking at women's misfortunes and not considering men. And so, for example, I became very interested in boys' education because at the time, all we heard was that girls were shortchanged victims. They were being held back by our universities and our schools. But when I looked at the data from the U.S. Department of Education, I discovered that girls were considerably stronger than boys in most areas, not all, but most areas, and that the boys' deficits were not being addressed, whereas we were doing a good job helping the girls. So I tried to expose myths and offer what I thought were constructive solutions.
We really have to appreciate a researcher like Christina Hoff Sommers, who has such a passion for the truth, willing to challenge the status quo. She is also willing to uncover and expose the imbalance and the discrimination that has created a culture of misinformation as we have been manipulated, and the public sentiment has been manipulated in such a way that we allow our government to have way more control, way beyond what they've been authorized to do so that they can then pretend to fix a problem that didn't exist in the first place, only to create new problems.
Christina Hoff Sommers' book is a real eye-opener about just how effective their propaganda campaign has been. And when I say they, I mean the radical fringe elements of the feminist movement, the extremists in the movement. Her book is well-researched, well-documented, and it is strong and powerful. The message is incredibly powerful because it is based upon an academic integrity that she really lives.
And she's challenging this whole myth that girls are victims, that women are poor, helpless, needy victims that need to get protected.
Well, her book contains many revealing insights into how we've all been taken for fools by these extremists. And as she explains how the agenda of the extremists has been executed, we understand how and why they've driven a wedge between women and men. And we also understand how they want to restructure our society and that they have no interest whatsoever in harmony or unity between the genders. And they certainly have no interest in a society where the genders treat each other with a mutual respect and dignity.
Instead, these radical extremists who claim to be feminists but really aren't, they're pitting men against women in an attempt to divide and conquer, and that is clear, is most clear in our family court system where that same mentality occurs. Men constantly, fathers are finding this degrading negative experience in family court where they don't stand a chance. Nowhere other than in family court is the discrimination against men more blatant when one parent is excommunicated from the lives of their child based on gender.
Well, there's no place where it affects a person more than in their family relationships that are so precious. These radical feminists play gender politics that are not gender neutral, and when our public policy is not gender neutral, we are manipulated, and we see that nowhere more clearly than in our family courts. We're going to find out more about that and more about Christina Hoff Sommers' book, Who Stole Feminism, when we come back. Please stay tuned.
Thanks for joining us on Family Law Reform Network TV. Please stay with us.